Hi, I'm Craig Fisher, and that's
Bill Boorman, at Bill Boorman, the guy in the hat.
and I'm at FishDogs and FishDogs.com, and we're recording a video post Talent Net Live and South by Southwest, the Austin Experience. What a great freaking weekend!
Great weekend, and it's taken its toll. And now I think before we fall asleep or fall down, it's good. I'm jumping on a plane in the morning, so it's just a good time to recap and really look at, aside from the great time we had, and the great people that we met. One of the things, really, kind of three things that really stand out for you from things that you've learned or picked up.
Mm-hmm. Well, so we had so much knowledge in the room on Friday that I don't know if I can pick anything that is, better than anything else. It was all really good, but I really like some of the things that you are doing with Facebook and some of the things that you're working on for the BBC. So why don't you share a little bit of that for the audience?
Well, I just think it's interesting. I mean, first of all, it's working with collaborative technologies. So it's looking at three things which are really important. One of the things we're doing for the BBC and have done for other people is look at all kinds of different applications and tools and technologies and how we get those to work together so that we can have one data entry point, one data exit point. Although we might be doing things in Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or in the ATS or using traditional recruited software. So I talked a little bit about that and really the three things that I think are important in technology and tools. One is the collaborative nature. The second one is the simple user interface. It's very, very easy for people to do things like one-click sign up for a talent network. I think increasingly what's becoming apparent is that we don't need we don't need to store data anymore. And we'll get some views on Gen Z in a minute. But we don't need to store data anymore. We just need to store the location of data.
Right.
And I think that's really changed people's mindsets. I think what was quite clear when we were having that conversation in the room is people are still of the mind that they like to see the box where the data lives.
Right.
Kind of like when they used to be cards. When they used to be cards, they like to hold that data. So, and I think the other thing is how much different generations are, as different generations are coming along, how it's changing the way people are looking and thinking about work. And the last point for me was a great one from William Tinker. When he was talking about authenticity and branding, and he talked about Tiger Woods, and obviously I've thought everybody's seen and heard the Tiger Woods story, but he was really talking about the issue wasn't a case of doing something wrong and getting caught for it. Organisations do things wrong all the time, but it was the fact that the message he gave was different to the person that he was, and that was much more about the authenticity than the morality of the act for most people.
That's right, and that set off a very interesting conversation about how companies should really own their culture, right? Warts and all.
Yeah.
And be very upfront with the buyer or job seeker, right? And say, these are the good points.
This is it.
We've got some bad stuff. We're working on it, but we're trying to set this goal to be this kind of company.
And we'll tell you what the bad stuff is.
And we'll tell you what the bad stuff is. But in the meantime, we want you very engaged with us, and we'd love to have you sort of look better yourself online and help us look better online, supporting the brand. You don't have to.
Yeah, I think this is the real difference. It's about talking about what we are rather than what we want to be. I think a lot of corporate recruiting brochures and message in the past
That's right.
has been pushed out about this is what we'd like the organisation to be rather than saying this is what it is.
Right.
I know from Michael Long's presentation, something that was really interesting was where they're saying, actually, this culture isn't for everyone. Some people really are not going to like this stuff.
That's right.
So better that we tell it and they deselect themselves.
Yeah.
Before they join. And I think we've thought a lot in the past. This is kind of my closing point. Is we've talked a lot in the past, always around talent attraction, but actually this concept of talent unattraction.
That's right.
Is even better.
Well, and that's one of the biggest issues that employers face these days.
Yeah.
Recruiters have this giant funnel. They've got too many wrong candidates.
Yeah.
And if you can get those candidates to opt out before
themselves,
that's
say,
right.
actually, I don't want to work there.
By saying this is
Yeah.
our culture, these are the people. Get to know them. If you feel like you're a fit, that's great. If
Yeah.
you don't, not a problem.
Yeah, and I think Rackspace was a great example of that, where you've got a very definitive culture, and you've got a culture where people would really say, I want to join that kind of place. I love that kind of happy, clappy environment where everyone's cheering and whooping. And you're going to have other people who are going to say, whoa, that's really not for me.
Right.
And I think being totally visible about what that culture is really interesting. So I'm going to be doing a bit more work and a bit more thinking in that area.
Yeah, and I think that whole day sort of gave us a really good dose of talking about culture, brand, and things like that. Michael's term, I'm going to give him credit.
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, and totally. We had a ball. So thanks for the trip.
Hey,
thanks for the trip.
We got some fun friends helping.
We got some fun friends helping us out. Thanks for the trip. We've had a ball. We'll speak to you all soon.
Cheers.